Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all okay. Thanks for joining me today for another video. This is a video that I've been asked about quite a lot, so it's quite long awaited for some of you. It is the first video in a series on the Senhaix N60, and this is the 4G model. So those of you who watch this channel may remember last year I reviewed the Senhaix N60, which was a 3G mobile network radio, and that video went down really well. If you haven't seen it, there is a link in the description below. And this radio is a absolutely cracking mobile network radio which runs PTT applications such as Real PTT, Zello, TeamSpeak and many others, and it just works really well. It's got a decent sized screen on it, it's really well made, and yeah, I just couldn't fault it. And as I say, the links to the previous videos are in the description. And I've actually got hold of a 4G version, so this is brand new. At the time of filming, this hasn't actually been released yet, so this is making its launch in Hong Kong actually this weekend at a trade show. But I thought I would just show you a little bit about this radio and just talk about some of the differences between this one and the 3G version, because it has been updated quite significantly. So you can see here, this is the packaging that the radio comes in, same as the 3G version of the N60. Each part comes in its own box, and what we actually get in the box is the mobile radio itself. We get a mounting bracket with thumb screws, we get a 4G antenna which screws on the back, and we also get a GPS antenna which screws on the back. There's a mains power lead and a power pigtail which has a red, black and blue wire. So the red is positive, black is negative and blue is ACC. And there is an updated microphone which we'll come to a little bit further into the video. So that's everything you get in the package. As you can see, it's identical to the Senhaix N60 3G model with the exception of the microphone. And there's actually next to no assembly whatsoever. You just insert the mounting bracket onto the radio with the supplied thumb screws, plug in the microphone and plug in the 4G antenna, and then the power supply just screws into a 3-pin connector on the back of the radio itself. So if we have a look at the front of the radio, we've got numerous buttons and dials here which I'm going to talk you through. So we've got the volume knob there on the top left, and that is the power on and off and the volume knob, so it turns to turn the volume up and down. The orange button underneath that with the triangle in the middle is the SOS button, which can be programmed in numerous different softwares and custom PTT applications. Below that is the microphone socket for the supplied microphone, and there's also above that you'll see a little hole which is actually a front microphone, so this will work without the PTT microphone itself. We've got the large screen in the middle of the device, and the little arrow on the top of that is an exit button. The 3 lines just below that is a menu button, and the square below that is home. So those are touchscreen buttons because it's got a capacitive touchscreen. On the top right you can see the button with the 2 white lines in. That is an OK or an enter button. The button to the right of that with a single white line is the exit key. The large square button in the middle is up and down, and just underneath the black button with the 2 dashed green lines is the dialing or PTT button. So again, you can just key up with that button if you don't have your microphone inserted. And then just to the right of that, the black button with the red dash in is the hang up and screen lock button. Now all of these buttons can actually be programmed in button mapping software such as Button Mapper, which is available on the Android Play Store, and that means you can change what each of these buttons do. If we look underneath the radio, we've got a rubber cap, and underneath there is 2 slots, one for the SIM and one for a micro SD card, so you can put a data SIM in here and you can put a micro SD card in here for additional storage. On the left hand and right hand side we've got 2 holes where the thumb screws attach the mounting bracket to, and then on the back of the radio on the left we've got a speaker. Just to the right of that we've got a headphone jack and a USB port, so you can access this via computer. And just to the right of that we've got a 4G antenna SMA connector, and then just below that to the left we've got the GPS antenna SMA connector, and then the 3-pin plug for mains power. Now if we have a look at the supplied microphone, this is a massive move forward from the previous microphone. It's a lot more rugged. Not to say that the 3G version's microphone wasn't rugged, it's an absolutely cracking microphone on that radio as well, but this is a massive step forward. It's got buttons on here that you can program. So it's got an emergency button on the top. It's got a full number keypad, up and down buttons, and a menu button, and you can power the radio on and off by holding the menu button as well. So a much nicer microphone with a flush mounted PTT rather than the PTT that sticks out on the other microphone. On the back we've got a belt clip there for mounting it, and we've also got a normal microphone mounting bolt on the back there which you can put into a microphone holder. And one thing to note with this microphone is that the underneath actually unscrews and the cable unplugs, so you can take this off should you need to. So just to run through some of the differences between the 3G and 4G model. Obviously the first major thing is that this model runs on 4G, whereas the previous version ran on 3G. There's quite a large update to the Android operating system on this, so the 3G version runs Android 4.4.2, this actually runs Android 7. It's got an upgraded CPU. So the 3G version had a 1GB CPU, this has got a 1.2GB CPU. The RAM capacity on this version is 1GB, whereas the previous version was 512 megabytes. The ROM capacity on this is 8GB, whereas the 3G version was 4GB. This device, unlike the 3G version, supports USB peripherals such as USB cameras. But you can see the list of differences between the two devices on the screen here, so if you want to have a good read through them, then you can by all means pause the video now. So yeah, quite a few differences between the two devices other than the 4G. We've got a better version of Android, we've got upgraded RAM and ROM, and a better CPU. Okay, so as you can see on the screen here, there are some differences between the 3G version and the 4G version in the way that it boots up, and the desktop when the radio is powered up is quite different to the 3G version on the 4G version. Okay, and this is what the main desktop looks like. I've not set the time and date on this yet, but this is what the main display looks like with the Senhaix logo in the middle there. As you can see, Real PTT is loading there, which I'm just going to tap out of. That comes pre-installed, but you can delete that should you want to use Zello. So on the bottom we've got some logos here. So we've got phone, where you can make and receive phone calls. We've got contacts, where you can view obviously your contacts. We've got the messenger logo here, so you can message people. And we've got PTT there, and that's for the pre-installed PTT app. If we click on the button in the middle, that will bring up the menu. So we've got various logos here, such as browser, calculator, calendar, clock, contacts, file manager, maps, and messaging. So you can obviously browse the internet on here. In file manager, you can import sounds and files and stuff from the SD card. We've got obviously maps, which will work as normal over wireless. And if we just scroll down to the next page, we've got music, phone, the Play Store where you can download Android apps, Real PTTs back in here, and then we've got Zello at the bottom, which I've installed, and we've got some settings there. And that's it for the main logos. So if we just click in settings, I'm not going to go through all this in massive detail because it's very similar to any of the other network radios that are out there, but you can see we've got Wi-Fi settings here, so you can go in there and connect to a wireless router. So if you haven't got 4G signal, you can go to a local Wi-Fi hotspot, such as in a shop, a restaurant. You can tether it to your phone, and you can still use this without having 4G connectivity if your network is if the network coverage is poor. We've got Bluetooth, so you can connect Bluetooth peripherals to this, such as wireless microphones, speakers, and things like that. We've got data usage settings, and if we just click on more there, we've got aeroplane mode, tethering and portable hotspots, and VPN. So as I say, you can connect this to another device, such as this, what you can see here, which I'm going to cover in a future video, and you can run it rather than using your SIM card. We've got display settings, notifications, sounds, apps, and storage. We've got memory, users, Jura speed, location, security, accounts, Google accounts, languages and input, backup and reset, date and time, accessibility, printing and schedule power on and off, and then about phone. So you can see we're running the Android 7 in there. So yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, guys, because as I say, these are just basically Android phone settings that you get when you buy any sort of device like this. So what we are going to do is we're going to log into Zello and we're going to see if James is around, and we're going to do a quick test with James. Okay, James, you receive him?
Hello, Lewis. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not so bad, thanks, James. I'm just using the Senhaix N60 4G version. I'm just using a little portable 4G device, so we're on the 3 network here running 4G. So how's it sounding?
Yeah, absolutely spot on, Lewis. I'm just chilling out to the sofa at the moment, mate, so I'm using the iPhone. I've got my TM7 upstairs all wired in, but no, it's the iPhone for me for the moment. But yeah, you sound nice and clear, very nice, bold sound, nice and clear.
Yeah, no worries, James. Well, the speaker on this radio is phenomenal. I hope it's coming across on the microphone the way I'm recording it, but the speaker on this this device is absolutely cracking. Your audio's really good coming through this side. So yeah, and the network latency I've noticed is a lot better on this one because we're using the 4G. It's you push the PTT, sorry, and it's instant, which is nice. So yeah, it's definitely a lot better than the 3G version.
Yeah, that was always a problem, wasn't it? It was the time delays and latencies on it. But no, 4G is definitely the way forward. I'm looking forward to hearing the results on this one. I'll have to watch out for this video when it comes out.
Yeah, no worries, James. Well, this is actually my first time using this device. I've not spoke to anyone on it yet, so it's good to finally get it going just for this video. I am videoing, James, if you don't mind. Oh, well, you know, because you just said you're looking forward to seeing the video. So yeah, you'll be in the video. Yeah, it's working really well. It's got a better CPU and a better RAM and better ROM specifications, and of course the 4G capability over the 3G version, James. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm really impressed with it. It's sounding good, and it's got a decent microphone on it as well. The other microphone was cracking, but this has got a keypad on it and a menu button and up and down and an emergency button and things like that. So yeah, it's great, James. Really impressed with it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I look forward to seeing this one. Is this one that's, does it look like a smartphone, or does this one look like a two-way radio? Just wondering what it's like. Is it like something you'd use for outside events?
No, it's not a handheld, James. It's a mobile. It's got the plug-in microphone and things like that, and a mounting bracket. So it's the same. I think you see my 3G version. It's exactly the same, physically and aesthetically. It's identical in every single way. It's just the internals are different on it.
Sorry, Lewis, I'm with you now. Yes, of course, it's your mobile one. Yeah, well, it's great audio from this side anyway. Still, yeah, it's going to be a cracking radio, I'm sure. You happy with it then? Is this one of your favourites, top of your list, or have you not yet decided?
Yeah, definitely. The 4G is just makes everything a lot easier, and it's the one with it's the biggest network radio with the biggest screen, so it's a lot easier to use. You know, you can actually type on the screen with a lot more ease. So yeah, I'm happy with it, James. All right, well, I'll leave you with it, but cheers for jumping on and doing a quick test. I appreciate it, and I'll speak to you later, and look out for the video coming up.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a pleasure, Lewis, you know that. Yeah, that's one of the criticisms I've got with my TM7. I love the radio to use, however, the screen is so small, and it can be quite fiddly, can't it, to select your menus and to select the users that you want. So if you've got a bigger screen on that one, that's a definite great advantage. So that's probably one to look out for.
Yeah, definitely. I've got the TM7 and like it, but yeah, the screen on this is nearly twice the size. All right, James, enjoy your evening. We'll catch you in a little while.
Okay, mate, speak soon.
Okay, so I hope that come across well on the video. That's just a test with James there on Zello. Zello, if you haven't already used it, it's a really good app for two-way communications over the internet. over Wi-Fi, 4G, and things like that. And you can add contacts and do all sorts on here. And you can set up group chats. And of course, the best thing about it is it's completely free. So yeah, I think I'll leave this one here, guys. That was part 1. We are going to do some other parts involving this network radio, so stay tuned. As I've said in other videos, fully aware that it's not a two-way radio, as in VHF and UHF two-way radio. It is basically fundamentally a mobile phone, even though a mobile phone is a two-way radio, but we won't get into that. Yeah, fully aware it is a cellular Android mobile phone, but it's a cracking little piece of kit. Absolutely love the new microphone on it, and the 4G definitely a lot faster on Zello than using 3G. There's virtually no network latency there whatsoever, no degradation of audio, and when you key up it's instant, unlike sometimes on 3G depending on the signal strength you're receiving. So yeah, I think we'll leave that one there, but stay tuned for the upcoming videos on this device. This was just a bit of a taster on the Senhaix N60 4G model. If you have any comments, suggestions or questions, then drop them in the box below and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to have a look in more detail on this, then visit the Senhaix website. The link is in the description below, and if you haven't already subscribed, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. And all that's left to say is 7-3. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.